The president of this country is reportedly living in fear. There is tension reverberating across the State House. In fact, reports indicate that over the weekend, the president held a high-profile secret meeting with top law enforcement authorities at the State House. And shortly after this secret meeting, Kenyan influencers and youths were abducted one after another off the streets. Some of those who were abducted by plainclothes detectives include Shad Khalif, the crazy Nairobian, Japrado, among many others. These detectives even tried to abduct Boniface Mwangi, who fortunately enough escaped. Now, is it a coincidence that these abductions started just almost immediately after reports of the secret meeting at the State House? And who exactly are these police officers abducting activists off the street? So reports right now indicate that there is a special unit of police officers that has been formed within Nairobi. This unit reportedly consists of ruthless police officers who do not hesitate to pull the trigger when needed. And it is even alleged that the police officer who shot an activist during the protests was from this unit. Probably explains why the officer is yet to be arrested. Nation media over the weekend reported that President Ruto convened a high-level meeting with the senior security officials, including Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki and the Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome, to address concerns of the Gen Z protests. It is also reported that he may have demanded the authorities to produce the people sponsoring the protests. According to him, these protests are not organic. There has to be someone financing the protests. Now, this is where the abductions come in. So all of the people who were abducted by these secret detectives, they were all involved in the protest in one way or another, from medical practitioners to influencers. Now, the theory in town is that these people were taken to a secret place where they were grilled and questioned by the police. The big question being, who is financing the protests? I mean, on a normal day, we would blame Raila Odinga, but Raila seems to be in bed with the government itself, so it cannot possibly be him. So if it is not Raila, who is it then? The government seems to be desperate to the level of suspecting that these protests are being financed by foreign governments.
Maura, who spoke following intense week of protests, added that the government will offer listening ear to the ongoing protests against the finance bill led by young Kenyans dissatisfied by some of the proposals contained in the bill.
Lakini kuna ka group kako mahali ambao nikiangalia kwa umbali, could be even there is a foreign hand into this whole issue.
One of the legislators even said that Illuminati is financing these protests.
Na mkitaka kujua, mtaona kwamba zile video zinazunguka hapa zinaanza na kitu inaitwa Illuminati. Na najua watu mumeona wale watu wana sponsor maandamano hapa Nairobi ni group inajiita Illuminati. Na sijui kama nyinyi mnajua Illuminati ni akina nani. Na watoto wetu wamefungwa macho.
But even with all these arrests, the government seems to be failing in finding the alleged sponsors. Time is running out. The mother of all protests is just about to happen in Kenya, and they are yet to establish the financier of this protest. A section of Kenyans have come out and offered to help the government to uncover the person funding the protests. And you won't believe who is being mentioned. So according to the Gen Z, the person funding the protest is the late Jacob Juma. Now, if you don't know, Jacob Juma was a prominent Kenyan businessman and political activist. He was well known for his outspoken criticism of the government corruption and his active presence on social media, where he frequently voiced his views on various political matters. Juma was particularly vocal about issues related to land and resource management, and he often accused high-ranking government officials of corruption. One of the people that he mentioned repeatedly was the current president. Juma's life came to a tragic end when he was murdered on May 5th, 2016. His death was met with widespread shock and outrage across Kenya, sparking numerous conspiracy theories and speculations about the motives and perpetrators behind the crime. Many believed that his assassination was politically motivated due to his vocal opposition to corruption and his ongoing legal battles involving significant financial interests. His murder remains a controversial and unresolved case, with many Kenyans calling for justice and a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding his death. So in short, Kenyans are saying these protests are motivated by the assassination of Jacob Juma. That's what's trending. This is Trends with SIKULU.